What's up, everybody? Yogi Chris PhD, and I'm giving you some insight on how yoga can improve your communication. If you're not doing yoga, or if you've just dabbled in it, maybe this would inspire you, give you a new angle that's not really talked about. I don't hear anybody saying it except me. And if you're already practicing yoga, you don't need more than this video. I teach more in the Silent Flute that would improve this. But if you just have this perspective, as you do your yoga practice, it will blossom more and more in you. And here's the understanding. As you put your body in new positions, you're using your motor neurons to put your body in those positions, and you need to develop new coordination. All sorts of yoga poses, upside down, laying on your side, weird rotations with your joints. You don't even need to be that flexible to be exposed to many new varieties of body shapes, body geometries, you could say. And that does a lot for your mind. You have to organize your body into that shape. And over time, you develop a lot of body awareness. Where is your finger in space? Where is your hand in space? With your eyes closed, where's my back? Like, what are my body dimensions? If you practice daily, you'll have a very clear image of the dimensions of your body. Where is my stomach? Where, without needing to touch it, you'll have more awareness of it. This is very useful for communication, because communication is this exchange of energy. It's not, I yell and I get the energy out. Because it'll just come back, actually. The seed of that energy are beliefs and thoughts, and those get symbolized as words. That's what you express to people. And if you just talk to a wall, it's not going to do the same thing as being, actually the term is duplicated, when another person basically copies. Like, you have an image in your mind or a scenery in your mind, and you try to express it, or an emotion or something in your mind. You express it in a way that they kind of like photocopy it, or they duplicate it in their mind. And then somehow signal back to you, which is called an acknowledgement, that they got it. And when you think that they really got it, you feel understood, and the energy resolves. There are other ways to resolve energy, because not everybody, let's say you have a hater or an enemy or someone that's trying to do you wrong. And if you don't got anybody trying to do you wrong, I don't know what you're doing in life. You must not be doing too much. There's always a hater for somebody, even if you're doing the most good thing. So sometimes you need to protect yourself, put up boundaries. Communication is supposed to be that thing that can repel danger if done right. It attracts what you want and repels what you don't want. It's very powerful, perhaps the most powerful of all superpowers, communication. And yoga improves your ability to communicate, because when you have more body awareness, when you in your mind, in your conscious mind, you're aware of the boundaries of your body. You're also aware of what's inside of those boundaries, what's going on inside of your body. And when you're more aware of this body experience, your body has an intelligence. Now, it's not intelligent at communicating. It's an animal. And its intelligence is very stimulus response. And so it may not make sense in the context how your body is reacting, but it does make sense why your body is reacting. You get it? It made sense when that pattern was formed. It maybe doesn't make sense now. But what's key for you as a conscious being, a communicator, is the ability to be aware when your body's having an experience. Now, you need the skills to communicate. That's going to be words that can symbolize the experience so that other people get it. And you'll maybe need some courage to overcome the fear of other people's opinions when you communicate. And, you also need some just savvy. You need to be able to identify when somebody, because you don't need to be understood by certain people. Your enemies don't need to understand you, and you have enemies. And if you have no enemies, then you're not a threat to anybody. And the fact is, the world is made up of people who are threats to each other. You can't play both sides. If you are, then you're really just waiting for a winner. You don't have a spine. You're living at a low level. You got to be able to come up. This is what people around me do, and that's why it's not for everybody. I'm not for everybody, okay? So if you don't think I'm for you, just know that you're doing both of us a favor by removing yourself, okay? Now, if you want to come up, you got to stand for something. And if you stand for something, that means you stand against something else. And if it's something of importance, then there's a high potential that some people on the opposite opinion turn violent or aggressive. They become haters. That's why it's important for women to have a man, and it's important for men to have women. Women protect a man's reputation, not just a single woman. That's a lot of pressure for one woman, and when she leaves, then you're left. Women protect the reputation of a man. Think any male yoga teacher. The more women he has following him, the safer he is. The more beautiful those women are, the safer he is. And on all spectrums, you would want young and beautiful. You would also want successful, rich and beautiful. But the women shield the feminine energy because it's a feminine world, and only the feminine can attack feminine. Women need a man who is also connected with other men, because maybe it's not fucking savage jungle, out there. However, you're not raped until you're not raped, and then you can't take it back. And that's just what it is. The world is always going to prey on women. That's just, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You need a man that you're aligned with that will take a knife for you, that is connected to other men that would take knife for him. And now you get a feeling of safety. Now you'll actually get a feeling of, women will say this to me a lot, they just want to be able to express freely. Now you can actually express because you have some muscle that's for you. Because the police, while all respect to police, two of my best friends are police officers, and maybe it's only a few bad eggs that are spoiling the whole thing or whatever it is, a few bad apples. The fact is that they're men. They are men. And the number one threat to men, or to women, is other men. Okay? So this is what happens. We need to sort out what's going on between men and women. We need to sort out what's going on in all communications, because whatever people are doing with yoga is avoiding a communication that needs to happen, right? They're solving almost all of the karma that you're trying to resolve. If you're into that subject, maybe you don't believe in karma, you're not into that subject. Almost all of the unresolved issues, those things that if you were on your deathbed, thoughts would come to you of, I wish I had done this or that. That's unresolved issues. Whatever, if you were going to die this moment, or you were just told you have an hour and then you just sat there and you were thinking, like, what's unresolved is something that needs or needed to be communicated. Communication will resolve that if done right, the right communication. It's not just any communication. It's not just talking or chat. And a lot of people that do yoga are trying to resolve those things by stretching it out, by breathing it out, by mantraing it out, by intending it out. Maybe that's possible, but you're really you're trying to get liberated by avoiding the thing that you need to be doing, which is find the person that you need that communication with and get the message across. Figure out how to do it. Okay? Yoga improves your ability to do this, but it's not just for its own sake. It's nobody's purpose to practice yoga. That's not practice yoga postures, practice yoga breathing, practice yoga techniques. Yoga is a state of mind. Let me get clear. I have to use the sheep language to even transmit the video. But yoga is a state of mind. It's a state of no mind fluctuation, actually. So it's a still state. So practicing a still state is a thing that you can do always. Even right now, I could be practicing a still state. But the practices that bring about that state, there are yoga practices. People are doing yoga practices to handle communications. It should be used to enhance your ability to communicate, your ability to feel what's going on inside, your ability to feel what's going on during communications, after communications, and your ability to know when it is resolved. So you know when enough has been said, what needs to be said. You start to feel words as different experiences. Words are not equal. No words are equal. There's no synonyms. Each word has a different feeling. So you start to become, if you're in the Silent Flute, and this is why you would join the Silent Flute, a mathematician of how to use words to resolve communications, to protect yourself, and to attract what you desire. It's the push, the pull, and just the overall awareness of purpose of communication and purpose of yoga. It is to liberate yourself, but you got a lot of easy, straightforward, low-hanging fruit, which are just communications with people that you need to resolve before you leave this planet if you want to free your soul of the chains of negative karma. All right, this is the 9th limb of yoga. That's this channel name. It's my brand, and it's what I teach in the Silent Flute. Okay, so go to ninthlimb.com to check that out, and I'll see you in the next one. Os.